ad first.
All right. How about now, guys? All right, are you getting anything now? I think you are.
You are?
I think. Yay, sound. We're good.
How do I get to your thing?
Okay, hang on a second.
Oh,
I gotta pull up.
I got Kahuna.
You got Kahuna?
I think so.
Is that Twitch or is that?
This is Twitch.
Okay, yeah. Then tap on Kahuna.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Now I get to watch this
Yeah, you can
McDonald's
see
ad.
a commercial. Whew. So that only took 18 minutes into the stream.
Oh, we're so sorry.
It's been a weird afternoon.
No, it's been a weird effing week.
Okay, I'll give you that.
My hair looks black. Why does my hair look so black?
It looks brown to me.
It looks black.
It's your angle. I'm still waiting for Chrome to start up. Hey, look, there it goes. Right over everything. So, yes, it's been a weird week. Mrs. Kahuna has got quite the story about the parent.
No, I have the parents. There are two moms.
Multiple parents, apparently. I got to hear some of this just overhearing it here in the office, the Kahuna Lair, the place where we hang out. Would you chill? I'm working on it.
I can't get to you.
I had to reboot like twice. Let's see here. So, just to switch over from phone to computer. Yeah, that was the... And Siobhan says it's a nice chestnut.
Thanks, but it's really not this dark.
Hang on a second here. I got to put up the status window so she can read
look,
the chat.
there's me. Okay, so something's happening.
Well, I'm putting up the chat right now, so
Okay.
you'll be able to read chat. You want it on this side, that side, or the whole screen? You don't care. You just want to be able to read the
I need
chat.
to be able to read it.
All right.
So as close to this side as possible.
I'm fixing the chat for Mrs. Kahuna.
Oh, there's my mug.
There we go.
How come I'm so far behind?
Because you're far behind.
Okay, well then I'm getting rid of this because I don't need it anymore.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to turn off that. Awesome.
Bad.
Don't worry about the Kahuna quiet message. I'm going to have to stifle that one. So, there we go. Oof.
Okay. I have to be right back.
Sable says your hair looks great. She just redid hers, and it sounds like yours turned out darker than you wanted, like mine did. She hasn't actually done anything to her hair.
I haven't colored my hair in, I don't know. I haven't colored it since 2016. I'm going to be right back. I have to use the restroom.
Again, one of those days. Mikaro, I asked you your question really quick. I'm trying to scroll back here. Should I use generic article, geography article, or country article for Grayburn meta article? So I'm thinking it's probably going to be country article if you're talking about the structure of, government and culture. It's going to be geography if all you're talking about is the land. And then generic if you think you want to blend the two. All right. Guys, look and sound great. No worries. Finally. There's no voice audio. We're all just going insane. What? Wish mine was not starting to silver. So does Mrs. Kahuna. Okay, so looks like the audio is on Esong's side. Oh, Esong was being funny. Not nice. Really not nice. I was getting ready to, hurl things. And now the dogs decide they want to play and be rowdy. This has been the way today has gone, especially the last couple hours. So while Mrs. Kahuna, before she gets back, I'm going to tell you my pet peeve story of the day. Here in California, we all have to wear masks. It's period. We all have to wear masks. It's, local regulations. You have to wear masks. So we have, normally, that's a mask. That's what a mask looks like. Unfortunately, we have some people who think this is wearing a mask. And then there's the genius who wears his mask like this because it bothers his mustache. Yeah. He's apparently protecting us from his chin. Oh my, that is such a pet peeve of mine. What? Oh my goodness. The guy with the mask protecting us from his chin at Costco.
Does this have to be here?
What?
I can't see that, and I don't like not being able to see me. Because I like to make sure I'm not looking too fat in my chin.
How's that? You guys should still be able to hear me. Don't worry about that, because at this point we're not anywhere close enough to...
Oh, well, it's in the picture.
Well, don't grab the mic to...
Hey, hello. I feel like... Oh, the camera's up there. That's why it's not moving.
Yeah, the camera's not. It has been a week, people.
Turn it a little that way.
There, it's done.
Yeah.
It's been a week. Entitled idiots going to always be entitled idiots.
Let's talk about entitled idiots.
Allow. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, so...
That's a good segue.
Mine was just the guy with the chin. This one is classic.
We're gone. Something happened.
Yes, this got tapped. Hang on.
What got tapped?
Hang on.
Did I touch something?
No, but...
I'm not sticking my tongue out in that freeze. Or looking all horrible.
Yeah, so...
That's ugly.
Deactivate the camera now. Reactivate the camera.
Hey!
And now you should see us again.
Hi. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now? Well, somebody's responding to something.
No, you aren't. No, I aren't. Well, no, I'm not sticking my tongue out.
Yay.
Okay, so we're on Entitled Idiots. Is
Entitled
that
Idiots is where we are.
Is that what? Okay.
Welcome to Entitled Idiots during Kahuna Help. Hey, and have yourself a mixed drink. Or whatever your adult beverage of choice is.
And put it in the pineapple head cup.
Pineapple head cup.
Okay, so here we go. Entitled Idiots. Version 1. No. This would be Chapter 1. Chapter 1, last Friday, the Friday before Labor Day, which is a holiday here in the United States. Hey! Okay, so I assigned a Brain Pop video for my students to watch so that we could have a discussion in class, an informed discussion. The spirit of the assignment was that the students would take notes on this video, and then they would come to class and we would talk about what the main ideas were that they pulled out of the video, what were some of the supporting details that went to those main ideas, and what kind of information did they pull from the video that could potentially show that the gentleman being interviewed was an expert. Okay? So, the assignment is in Brain Pop, like I said, which is an approved, our district pays for it. So anyone, any teacher can use any content on Brain Pop. It is considered to be totally copacetic. So, I assign an interview with Dr. Fauci. Now, for those of you who are not here in the U.S., you may not know who he is. I don't know, you may. He is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Immunology. Something like that. He's been an advisor to every sitting president since 1980, when I was a freshman in high school. Okay? So he's been doing this for a long time. He's been instrumental in helping the U.S. kind of deal with the AIDS epidemic and the former SARS epidemic and Ebola and all that other stuff. So I always preview anything before I assign it to my children. And even Mr. Kahuna saw me previewing this thing on Friday, and I said, oh, and at the end they do this cute little Jeopardy quiz with him, and they ask him, since he was born and raised in New York, if he knows what the ratio of eggs to cream is in an egg cream. Well, there's no eggs and no cream in an egg cream. So he gets the answer wrong. But he's like, I really do know the answer. You just didn't ask me the question right. So anyway, there's lots of background information in there about what he's done and his degrees and blah, 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 blah. So showing that he's an expert in his field. That was my whole point. Tuesday rolls around. I get an email from mom number 1. My son will not be participating in this assignment. He will not be watching the video. He will not be participating in your class discussion. I don't feel that this topic is appropriate for class. And what does this have to do with AVID, which is what I teach? And I'm like, so I craft this response Tuesday morning before school even starts. And I send it to my principal because I want to make sure I'm not coming across as, hoity-toity or that I know better than anybody. And I said, can you please read this and let me know if this is okay? So he emails me back. He's like, I would handle this over the phone instead of email because that way there can be no misinterpretation of tone because the professional tone and everything. I'm like, okay. So I email the mom back and I say, mom number 1, I would love to discuss your concerns over the phone. I'm teaching until, 12:06 and I have office hours till 1:15, so I'm available anytime after that. Please send me your cell phone number and a good time to call you so that we can make sure that we connect. So she sends me back an email and says, okay, so this time, and here's my number, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm like, okay, great. In the meantime, principal sends me a copy or forwards to me an email that one of the counselors received from mom number 2, who also has a student in AVID, but they are in a different period. So I'm thinking, ironic. I'm like, okay. He's like, call this mom too. Okay. So I email the mom and, hey, I received this forwarded message from our counselor, telling me that you have a concern about this, the Dr. Fauci interview assignment. I'd be happy to, discuss it with you over the phone. Can you please send me your cell phone number and let's set up a time so that we can make sure we connect. Looking forward to talking to you. So she sends me back this email that, I have patience until 5 o'clock. So I'm thinking, she must be part of the medical field. Turns out she's a dental assistant, which is still science-based. So I'm like, okay. She's like, I'm available anytime after 5. So I email the mom back and I'm like, mom number 2, I would like to set a more specific time only because I don't want to call you during dinner preparation or homework help or family time. I really would, just like to set a time so that we have a precise time that we can talk and it'll only take like 5 minutes. Okay, fine. Call me at 5:15. Okay. In the meantime, I'm grading and I'm on my laptop and a colleague pings me on Facebook. He sends me a message. He's like, hey, who are all the AVID teachers at school? So I tell him it's me and this other gentleman who teaches the academic language piece of AVID. And I'm like, so really I'm the only AVID teacher this year. Normally there's 3 of us, but anyway, long story. So he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, why are you asking me this? He's like, there's a mom who is posting in the Facebook page for the neighborhood where our school is, because she lives there, and so does my colleague, posting about this assignment that you gave in AVID. What the heck is up with that? I'm like, oh, God. Apparently, she's trying to get information about me. So she's got dirt? I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, give her my name. She already has it anyway. Then he pings me again in another group, which is parents of students from my school, which is a private group and teachers aren't allowed. He has a friend who is part of that group who sends him a screenshot of another message. Mom number 2 is posting, wanting to know who feels this assignment is appropriate. I'm like, you don't even know what the effing assignment is about. You haven't even talked to me yet. So I'm like, you know what? Stay out of it. I'm like, whatever. I have an appointment with that mom at 5:15. He's like, oh, she's my neighbor. I'm like, oh, great. He's like, yeah. He's like, a lot of the parents in our neighborhood are kind of, what did he use? He used a term that was derogatory, but not too mean. You know, they're weird or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, so next thing I know, I get an email from the Avid Excel teacher that mom number 1 emailed asking if he had given the same assignment. He's like, hey, Mrs. Kahuna, what is this about? I'm like, oh, well, here's the response that you can send to them. And I gave him, I said, just copy this and paste it in and change, me to you and blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay. So he copies me on the email and he sends it to this mom number 1 saying, oh, and I copied Mrs. Kahuna on this email so that she, is aware of your concerns. In the meantime, I'm calling mom number 1. Get on the phone with mom number 1, and I'm like, oh, hello, mom number 1. I said, I'm Mrs. Kahuna. I'm your son's Avid teacher, and you said you had some concerns about the Dr. Fauci interview assignment from Brain Pop. I said, do you want to express your concerns to me so that I can address them and maybe we can figure something out? So she goes on to tell me, well, I think Fauci is a socialist and he has a hidden agenda, and that the whole social distancing and mask wearing and washing your hands and blah, blah, blah is wrong, and that it shouldn't be an agenda that's pushed in school. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, well, when your son comes back to school, he's going to be forced to wear a mask. He's going to be forced to wash his hands before he comes into every class. And he's going to be using hand sanitizer about every 10 minutes. So you're going to have a fun school year. But this is all in my head. It's not coming out my mouth. For once, I had the good filter on.
A good thing.
So I'm proceeding to listen to mom rant about Fauci's agenda and the fact that he's a socialist and la la la. And then I'm like, okay, I can understand how you feel. I would like to explain the spirit of the assignment. The kids were, so you guys heard it all, take notes and blah, 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 and main idea, details, proving or disproving whether or not someone's an expert. Well, I think there are plenty of other videos that you could have had the kids watch to do that. And I'm thinking, I looked for other videos, but I didn't see any. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand that you don't want your son to do this assignment. So what would you propose? Well, give him an alternate assignment. I'm like, okay, well, I need to run that by my principal before I make a decision on that, but I'll take, I'll take that under advisement. And, I'm really sorry that you're so upset about this. It was not my intention. The discussion is going to have nothing to do with any political anything. I'm not even mentioning COVID-19 unless it's in response to, do you believe, based on evidence from the video that was presented about Dr. Fauci's background, that he could be looked at as an expert in infectious diseases. Okay? So in the meantime, I hang up with her and I'm grading and I'm thinking, 5:15, I got to do this effing thing again. I get an email from mom number 2. I don't think that there's any reason we need to waste our time on a phone conversation when you're not going to change my opinion of this assignment. And then I proceed to hear again about how he's a socialist and this is an agenda and blah, blah, blah. And she would like her son to have an alternate assignment. And some of the words that she used in this email were words that I had used with mom number 1. And I'm like, And I can tell she copied and pasted because the fonts in the email are different. She starts out with one font, then what she copied and pasted in was a different font, and then the original font again. And I'm not stupid, okay? I'm not the technological guru that Mr. Kahuna is here, but I can see that. I have eyes. So I'm like,
Let me just interject here. Not that she feels strongly about any of this.
No. So I'm like, okay. So I said, well, okay, mom number 2. The goal of my phone call was not to try to change your opinion. It was just to try to explain the spirit in which the assignment was given. Hear nothing. Okay, fine. So I email my principal, tell him what's going on. He's like, just give him the alternate assignment. I said, well, how do you propose that I give them equal credit if they're not going to be able to participate in a class discussion? Figure it out, he says. Okay. So here I am in bed with my laptop while Kahuna's trying to read crap to me. And I'm like, can you give me 10 minutes? Can you give me 10 minutes? And he's like, fine, you're crabby. I'm like, it's 7:30 at night and I'm dealing with two entitled idiot moms who want an alternate assignment for their student, and I have to give it to them so they have the time to complete it by Friday. So I get it all done, and I literally write out the directions. I write out how the kids are, yes. So I write out how the kids are going to be graded, literally 10 points for this. This is a low-level skill, so it's 5 points. This is a mid-level skill, it's 10 points. This is a higher-level skill, it's 15 points. So I gave them an article to read and take notes on and write down, the experts that were mentioned and why they feel these people could be, experts. Every article I'm looking at in the approved articles that Avid has posted for the month have to do with COVID or the election. And I'm like, nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that.
I saw it. I saw the list, and I just kind of chuckled because, yeah.
So I come across one that the title is something like,
It was about tweets.
yeah, parents or people are paying greater attention to tweets during coronavirus and not the Twitter kind. So I'm scanning the article. It's about birds, okay? And how people have noticed in the whole, stay at home, social distancing, less traffic on the roads, all that. They're hearing tweets more often and they're seeing birds more often. And they're wondering if there's been a bird explosion. So the experts are saying, no, it's probably just because they feel more comfortable coming out during the day, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, problem is, article, 4 pages, front, back, front, back. I'm like, oh, well, you picked this for your kid. You can effing deal with it. So I send it out to them. I copy my principal. Yes?
No, I'm responding. Yeah, Aegon's right.
And
Keep going.
I'm like, okay, that's done. Hear nothing from mom number 1 nor mom number 2 till today.
This is good. This one made me hot.
So first I hear from mom number 2 saying, oh, well, my son submitted this late assignment during the week and it hasn't been graded yet. Do you think you could grade it? So I email her back and I say, well, mom number 1, I grade late work once a week, usually on Sundays or Mondays. So if your son submitted this late assignment anytime after Monday night, chances are it hasn't been graded yet. But I'll look at it as soon as I get to the late assignment pile, because I usually grade current stuff first. And I go in order of my class periods. No response. Okay, fine, we're good. I leave the house with Kahuna to go to Costco and Bevmo and Burger King. And
Bevmo.
in the meantime, while we're out, I get this email. Oh no, I lied. There's one more step that I forgot.
Oh,
so I'm going in and I'm grading the work for the Dr. Fauci interview assignment. And lo and behold, son number 2 has submitted something to this assignment. It's a screenshot of his score on the quiz that they take after the video. And it's a 4 out of 5, which I'm okay with. Yes! So I'm like, okay.
Off-sprint communication.
So I look at it and I'm like, I better take a screenshot of this and send it to mom number 2 because I need to know which assignment I'm really grading here. So I send screenshot to mom number 2 saying, hey, I'm grading this assignment and I noticed that son number 2 has submitted this quiz score. I'm wondering if they decided to do this assignment instead or if I'm grading the other one. I need you to clarify for me. Could you please get back to me? So I have to read parts of this because it's so effing stupid. So
Yeah,
we're in Costco. Well, we're going into Costco because we don't have reception in Costco. So I'm going into Costco and my phone pings and I can see that it's an email from mom number 2.
Remember, they're not going to do this assignment. It's socialist.
So I'll read you the most important part of this is the very second sentence, but I'm going to read that to you last. So I just wasn't sure which way things were going to go when I told you I didn't want him to participate in the class discussion. He did watch most of the video. I just didn't want him to be a part of the class discussion. I didn't know which opinions were going to be discussed. I hope you don't think badly of us. I'm really not trying to be difficult. I just want to protect my child from what I think is right and wrong. That's reasonable. Except, you ready for the second sentence? Here's the second sentence.
Here's the one that got me just... It took me about...
A tenth of a
second to just kind of go nuts on this one.
Second sentence of the email was, I did the quiz for him because I didn't want him to lose out on points, and I submitted it. I want my child to know right from wrong, but I'm doing the quiz for him and submitting it. I'm cheating? How is that right? So I forwarded the email to my principal. And I'm like, so it turns out that so what I sent is I said, thank you for clarifying. I will most likely get to the assignment that your son submitted Sunday or Monday, blah, blah, blah. So I send an email for the email to my principal. I say, guess what? Mom took the quiz for the son. Isn't that cheating? How is that teaching your kid what is right and wrong? And then I give the facepalm emoji. And he sends back SMDH. Then, about...
Dun, dun, dun! And this is right as we're starting the stream.
Right as we're starting the stream, I get another email from him. Can you send me the link to that video so that I can watch it? This parent just won't quit. I'm thinking, oh God. They just responded to my email about how Republican information is not being shared. I want to watch this video before I call her. I'm like, well, Republican information wasn't being shared in my classroom, but nor was Democrat. This was all about how to determine whether or not someone is an expert, whether you're Republican or Democrat or you are from Mars. If you look at the evidence of Dr. Fauci's credentialing, you can reasonably decide that he is an expert in the field of communicable diseases. I, however, am not. So I made the point to my students, if we had Dr. Fauci here and we were going to interview him about AVID, would he be considered an expert? In the chat pops up 17 no's. I'm like, okay, so if Dr. Fauci wanted to interview me about AVID, could I be considered an expert? 17 yeses pop up. I'm like, that's the point I was trying to make. All this Friday night at 4 effing o'clock. And then I get on the phone with my principal because he calls me. He's like, this is stupid. I'm like, you think? So he wants me to send him the link to this Brain Pop video and then give him a quick timeline of what happened today. I'm just like, done with mom number one and mom number two. By the way, mom number one, this is not the first time I've heard from her. Mom number one is divorced and she hates her ex-husband and he's worthless and doesn't help the son with anything with homework, but they share 50-50 custody, so now she's involved. Amen, hallelujah. What can we do so that her son can get caught up? Are there any assignments that you can excuse him from because my ex-husband is an idiot? You know what? F no. Not after this. I'm hot.
Good thing the school year's almost over. That was brilliant, Esong. That was brilliant.
Yeah, and in I had sent a text to my principal on Tuesday, and I said, I would never have assigned this if I thought it would have created such an uproar for you, for him. Because it's not like he's got 17 other things to worry about on a normal day. But then I'm adding something to it. And I said, that this is not me. I try to handle all of my issues on my own before bringing you in. And he's like, you don't need to apologize to me. This is not you. This is them. He's like, right now, our nation is so polarized that everyone feels they need to take a side on every issue. and they need to share their opinion, whether it's asked for or not. And I was like, And I really started thinking about it, and that really made me cry. It really made me cry. So that was my, and honestly, this was the nutshell version, because I've been dealing with this since Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that's my story about entitled idiots for the week.
Yeah,
Right. We don't need opinions. I didn't ask for your effing opinion.
Yeah, the first thing I thought when I heard the response, I did the test for him. I'm like, so she cheated. She literally did the work for him. She cheated for him, but let's make sure he learns right from wrong.
It's me. See, I deserve the booze. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it.
I told you that picture was a lot more full. You guys were like, a lot gone already. I'm still sipping my first one.
It's not plagiarism. It's cheating. If someone takes a quiz for someone else, that's not plagiarism. That's cheating. Plagiarism is when you use other people's thoughts and words in writing and don't give them proper credit.
Drink up. Yeah, it's just, I've been listening to this all week and just watching Mrs. Kahuna just go, boop!
But you must admit,
you handled it very well.
I handled it as professionally as I could, and I even specifically asked Kahuna to listen periodically throughout the day to my classroom discussions, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't polarizing anything. And he's like, I didn't hear any of that. Yes, he loves me, so he's going to be lenient on me, but he's also harder on me than a lot of other people are, so I believe him.
I call it straight up. If she's doing something that I think is, not kosher, I'll let her know. I won't pull a punch. Because you know what? She deserves the honesty.
Oh, well, you know what? It's funny you say that. I need to read you a piece of an email response that my principal sent to mom number 2, because it was good. I read it. I read part of it to Kahuna, and he was like, yeah. I gotta find it, though.
What I'm hoping, and
oh, it's under parent communication.
I try not to get political on these things. I have my opinions. They're strong ones. I just don't share them as Kahuna. Is that...
I found it when you're done.
Is that kids who get pushed into this stuff this early, I mean, we're talking 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. When you hear people talk about, I don't want my kids indoctrinated, so I'll indoctrinate them, is basically what they're saying, because that's what these parents are doing, and they're saying they can't hear anything other than what I believe. We're not going to allow them to learn how to make critical thinking judgments. We don't want them to think different than us. We don't want them to have the opportunity. Those kids, as a rule, when they get older, are going to go one of two ways. They're either going to be drinking mom and dad's Kool-Aid so far down the road that, you get the Kool-Aid reference.
Yeah.
Or those kids are going to rebel so hard that it will leave these parents' heads spinning. And most of the time, that's the way it goes.
Well, it's funny you talk about that, because I watched a video. I don't know. If you get a chance, Google Jonathan. I want to say it's Clark. Jonathan Clark Brown. He was left in a park in Texas by his mother at the age of 5 with his younger brother. He lived his entire life in foster care, and he was part of the program I teach. He became part of the AVID program in high school. AVID just put a new video out for him of his success. He works for them, and he called it Interrupted. So one of the things, like you said, my whole reason for getting into teaching was to create a better future for everybody. I want to make sure that kids who really are the ones that are going to be president someday, and who knows, maybe it could be one of my kiddos, that they learn how to think critically and ask questions and find the facts and support the facts. So my principal sent a response to mom number 2, who is the one who then responded again, and I needed to do the timeline. So he says, I appreciate your concern regarding the sensitive nature of the current topics surrounding our world today. As a parent of 4 children myself, I know the challenges of filtering what is being pushed out by society and what we want our own kids to learn. With that said, I also want my kids to have the facts and the knowledge to make informed decisions as they move from their childhood to teenage years. The purpose of the Brain Pop video was to inform and provide facts. Brain Pop videos are widely used in public and private school districts throughout the country. That video will then build into an AVID strategy known as a Socratic seminar, where students will gather facts from each side of the topic, then have a thoroughly guided discussion by an experienced AVID teacher, so that students learn how to organize their thoughts, research the facts, speak intelligibly about their opinions, and defend their opinion based on the facts that they've gathered. All of these tools they learn from this activity can be used in any other content area. Further, our AVID students have shown much success over the years as they go into high school AVID and eventually have a college acceptance rate of over 98%. Finally, if you still feel that the topic is not appropriate for your child, please reach out to Mrs. Kahuna, that's what he said my real name, regarding an alternate assignment. I am sure she would be willing to support you in that. Wasn't that a nice response? I thought that was so perfect. But now he's got to deal with mom number 2 again.
Here's the thing. If you teach people how to reason, how to think critically, then the only fear you have of them doing that is that you haven't. Because if you haven't thought critically, and they do, they're going to question your reasoning. They're going to question your belief because they're looking at all the different aspects of things. And if that's why you're stopping them from learning those skills, is because you're afraid that someday they might say, I think you're wrong. You're not just doing the kid a disservice, you're doing everyone a disservice, including yourself. Wow, that got all, preachy, didn't it? Sorry.
I guess what really upset me was that these parents assumed that my agenda was to have an agenda. My agenda has never been to sway any kid in any way. I can't tell you how many times over the course of the last 3 presidential elections, because I've been teaching this content that long. Over the last 3 presidential elections, in fact, in the entire time I've been teaching this elective, I have never had any issues like this, ever. And my whole thing has always been, my opinion isn't what matters. What I want to do is to make sure that you know how to dig deeper and find the information you're looking for to be able to determine whether or not a source is credible. It's not, I believe this. It's not, I believe that. And I have had plenty of Socratic discussions where students have asked me, well, what do you think, Mrs. Kahuna? And I have repeatedly said, it doesn't matter what my opinion is. What matters is that you can form your own, and that you can form an opinion based on research and evidence. The only time I ever shared an opinion with my class was after I don't remember which one it was, the high school shooting that happened my first year teaching there. Which one was that?
You're talking 10 years ago?
No, 2016.
Oh, here. That was in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
After the Florida incident, we did a Socratic seminar on, the main question was about arming classroom teachers. And there were pros and cons that were presented in 2 or 3 different articles that the kids read. And we did a Socratic seminar. And at the very end, I had a student ask me, you know, Mrs. Kahuna, you could be considered an expert from the teacher side of this. What's your view on this? And I said, well, we've finished everything. Everyone's, gone ahead and given their viewpoint. I said, I'll tell you as a teacher what I'm afraid of. I never said it was my opinion. What I'm afraid of was that if we arm teachers, how are those teachers going to react should they need to ever use the firearm that's been given to them in a classroom situation? That's not my job. I'm not confronted with that kind of threat on a daily basis. So I don't have a practice response for that. I have plenty of other practiced responses for emergency situations in my school. I know how to handle an active shooter. I know what I would do. I know what I would do. But I don't know what I would do if I had a weapon to use, because I've never had to be put in that situation before. And even if I had been given that training, I don't know that I could use it effectively and appropriately. I don't know that I could do that. So my opinion is no, I wouldn't want one. I wouldn't want a weapon. If there is someone across the hall from me who is an avid hunter and goes out and, to the shooting range all the time, and they feel that they could handle it, great, let them have it. I don't want it. And that's the only time I've ever expressed any kind of opinion about any subject in my classroom.
Aegon saying that we have one side trying to engage with facts and others trying to engage with feelings. All right, this is as political as I get with this, and I'm still not going to go politics on this. I don't think feelings is the issue.
It's fear.
It's straight up fear, and it's a resistance to questioning their own beliefs. It's where I believe it, therefore it's true, and I don't care about your facts. I don't care about the science. I believe this because it fits in with my view of how things are or should be. That, to me, is the real problem. Is that you can present someone with facts and say, look, this happened. There's evidence. There's videotape. There's recordings. There's documentation. There's, testimony. Whatever it is, you can present these things and say, look, this is all the stuff that says this is absolutely true. It's all made up. That's, QAnon is coming more and more into the consciousness. There's actually, I think,
We're turning really political.
2 or 3 there's 2 or 3.
You want any more of this?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, because I'm probably going to finish it.
Yep, we finished a picture of it.
It wasn't a picture, it was a half picture.
Okay.
Here, you can have
In any
this
case,
little bit
the QAnon stuff is it's just a conspiracy theory, and if you ever really look into it, you'll find it's nuts. Lizard people taking over the planet? That's in their theory. And these people are buying it. They're just soaking it up because that's a better answer to them than fact. And that, as a guy who really loves science, loves fact, loves learning, that makes me nuts. I'm missing stuff here. What am I missing?
Well, there's quite a bit, but so Rabid Candy Void said that they appreciate my knowing myself enough to know that carrying a gun is not the best reaction. And with that whole gun thing, with the teachers being, armed, during that whole thing, I made sure that all of my kids, I said, the one thing that you need to do if something like that were to happen on our campus, you need to trust the adults because we've been trained. I mean, yes, that training is only as good as the next day. It's if it happens, how will we respond? But we practice for a reason. So you need to take the drill seriously. And I have been known, I'm this kind of teacher, I have been known during fire drills to actually hold hands of my middle school students who can't maintain a straight, quiet line, or who decide they're going to grab ass with their friends in line, or who are going to walk away from my line to talk to a friend in another class. I have been known to hold their hands. I have also been known to make them repeat the drill after everyone else has gone inside. And out here sometimes, especially where I teach, it's like 97,000 degrees in the sun. So they don't want to do that. So my kids, when they're with me, I can only control them when they're with me. My students know that if we have a fire drill, or if we have an active shooter drill, or if we have an earthquake drill, or whatever else we might have, they know that if they don't take it seriously, that there are going to be huge consequences. Because the only way to prepare for the eventuality is to practice how you want to respond in the true emergency. I feel that that is a much better solution, maybe, than arming me.
It got dark, didn't it? Yeah, sorry. Esong, that was hysterical.
What? I missed it.
To their credit, lizard people are trying to take over her world.
Oh, well, that's your world, not ours.
Heard about the idea now? Yeah. Yeah, I that gets into a whole nother set of subjects, and, you know, it's... Yeah.
Rabid Candy Void, that was one of the things that came up in our Socratic discussion. There were students who said, you know what? Who's to say that we don't have some crazy kids on our campus who are, you know, mentally, they are off medication and they might get upset, and maybe they can figure out how to get into a safe where this gun would be. Why would we want to subject ourselves to that? I agree.
So let's try to lighten things up here. So
yes.
What did we have funny this week?
Well,
the dogs got haircuts.
The dogs got haircuts. Well, the boys got haircuts.
The boys, yes.
And one of the things, a principal at one of the other schools in my district posted something on Twitter. He tweeted that it's funny to watch class Google Meets because inevitably once in every Google Meet, somebody's pet ends up on their lap. And so I responded, oh yeah, guess what Mr. Kahuna did? Dogs got groomed yesterday. Mr. Kahuna brings Wesley, my baby, upstairs holding him in his hands, and he's thinking that he's just going to go like this with the dog and get the dog in the camera. I see him out of the corner of my eye. I turn, there's Wesley. I'm like, oh! Wesley ends up on my lap. The kids go ballistic. It was so fun.
I wasn't trying to put him in front of the camera. I was trying to get him over her shoulder so that she would turn and see the dog and then do exactly what you did. So I succeeded. I did what I was trying to do.
My kids thought it was so cute.
Yes, puppers.
Puppers. Where are they, by the way?
I don't know. They're not.
Oh, Maverick's behind you, so don't roll back.
Oh, awesome. Yes, the dogs have this habit of sitting behind my chair that rolls back.
They're the other two are downstairs, I think.
Then they yip at me when I start to roll back, and they're like, "You're disturbing me." Found about remote because we got a bigger insight into their life. You know, I think that's true. I think that's true. When things fall under the grill crate,
we're all insane as teenagers. Yes, I agree.
By the way, I'm now doing dad advice. Our teen is doing a tri-tip with potatoes today, and just texted me, "Hey Dad, what do I do when things fall under the grill grate? Do we just leave them be?"
My response would be pick them out with your fingers.
The pouch with the potatoes split and a few pieces of potato fell before I could get them in the new foil.
Pick them out with your fingers.
So, pardon me while I text back the response to, "Let them burn."
Yeah. And the reason why I yelled yes, we get imperfect produce every other week, and it has saved us some money.
Yeah.
But this week...
Not a commercial.
No. This week, because Monday was a holiday, we forgot to pick our box, because normally we don't take everything that they automatically give you. So, we got nopales, you know, the flat cactus leaf things. And when Offspring saw them, they're like, what are we going to do with those? I'm like, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. In the meantime, I stuck myself about 6 times with, thorns. Or needles. I'm sorry, they're needles. And then I keep digging through the box. I got another pound of carrots. I already have 2 pounds of carrots in the fridge, so we're going to be having carrots a lot.
Maybe juicing. We could juice.
We don't have a juicer.
We can't juice. But it was a thought. Lots of slaw.
Who's going to eat that?
Carrot cake. You love carrot cake.
I don't love carrot cake. I actually don't like carrot cake.
Oh, I hate carrot cake.
No. Yes, we could change it, but we have a wedding to pay for.
Yeah. Our middle kid.
And middle kid and fiance bought a house 2 nights ago.
Yeah. 2 or last night?
I don't remember anymore. No, it was 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago.
It was 2 nights ago because yesterday I had to do a Google Meet with them so they could show me all of the options that they selected because it's a new build. Okay, making carrot cake really won't help for giving it to you guys because it ain't going to make it across the pond.
Well, Esong and Scribe are in Chicago.
Oh. It still ain't going to make it to Chicago in this weather.
Oh. We're paying for the dress.
We're not paying for the whole wedding. No, we're contributing. But we're paying the almost $2,000 for the dress and, contributing whatever we can afford to contribute towards everything else. Options.
Send it north.
No, we're not paying for the whole wedding. We already paid for half of the dress, and the other half for the dress is due in December. So we aren't buying a juicer at the current moment.
$1,000 by December. Yep.
I love British Columbia. I spent a couple days on Victoria Island, the Empress Hotel, high tea. I love the Empress chocolate squares from that chocolate place that's just down Government Street from the hotel. Oh, loved it.
Although, just north of us?
Not really. It's like
1,200 miles.
At least.
Just north of us.
It's just north of Seattle.
Yeah.
And we're not there.
No, we are in Southern California. We are 100 miles from the border.
I should see. Is there any way that we can show them what the dress looks like?
Only if it's on the web somewhere.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so.
But I can hold my camera up to the.
You could.
Camera, the thing, right? Let me show you.
Vancouver Island, Victoria is a city there. Yeah, it's.
Oh, that's right. Vancouver Island, Victoria is the city, right on the harbor. Okay, so
Ship to Lorraine and she can send it to us.
here's the train.
That doesn't look really good. You need to back it up a little bit.
Can you see the train?
It's kind of out of focus, but okay.
There's the train. Yeah, okay. And then let's see if I can find a good one. Here's the side. And then here's the front. And then here's the daughter. Isn't she beautiful? I'm biased, but I know. And then
This is the Energizer Bunny of the 3 kids.
Okay, here's the best one because she's got, she's a former cheerleader, so you can see former cheerleader pose with the dress. Isn't that a beautiful dress? She was so happy when we found it. She was like, "This is my dress." I'm like,
First shop they went to.
First dress
she tried on was the one.
Yeah, but she did, to her credit, she had gone shopping prior with a bridesmaid and didn't find anything she liked. And we had a second appointment after the one where she found the dress, and we went to it just in case. So she had an open mind, but as soon as we walked out, she's like, "I think that's going to be my dress." I'm like, "Yeah, I think you're right." To the tune of almost $2,000. But it's a perfect dress for her.
Meanwhile, me and
Fiance.
future son-in-law,
Yes.
we sat talking Star Wars at their condo.
Thank you, Sable, for your compliments. I really appreciate it. She is just She's a joy. She really is a joy, and we tease her that she's the Energizer Bunny, and she's smart, and she's successful. She just got her first job following kind of in Mom's footsteps. She is a Head Start teacher.
That's not her first job.
It's her first real job after she got her degree.
Yes.
She's teaching at a Head Start program in Phoenix. She has money saved. Her fiance is wonderful. I'm just so proud of her. She's really come a long way in a short time. Sorry, I won't cry. It is nice when you love your kids' partners. I even like my older daughter's partner. They've been dating for, forever. Since she was a junior in high school and he was a senior.
It's close to 10 years now.
We're coming up, I think it's 8 or 9. He's not the most ambitious human like Courtney's fiance is, like Offspring number 2's fiance, but he's kind and he understands Offspring number 1. He gets her, and she's hard to get.
Then again, he's hard to get to. And she
I'm
gets him.
telling you, the two of them
made for each other.
Are made for each other. And if they don't get married at some point, or if they ever split up, they will never find anyone else. I swear to God, that is a better match. They are perfect for each other.
Yeah, so. I like future son-in-law.
It's the Star Wars connection.
It's not just that. He's a nerd.
He is a
nerd.
He's an AV nerd.
He's an AV nerd, so we get along. We talk the same language. We went to their condo for the first time a few weeks ago, and he's got the same gear on his desk.
Hi, Daz.
Hey, Daz. He's got the same gear on his desk, the audio gear that I have. I'm like, all right, yeah, I can deal with this guy. That, and he's got 2 Lego Yodas in the spare bedroom. So, I'm good with him. I'm good.
Well, he's the 2. Did you just say the 2 Yodas? Is that what I heard you say?
The 2 Yodas,
I was reading. So the 2 Yodas are made out of Lego, and he put them together.
I said they're Lego Yodas.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So one of them, when we were staying in the spare bedroom, one of them is like facing the bed, like he's guarding the bed. And then the other one is looking at the foot of the bed like he's ready to with the lightsaber. It was a little freaky for me, but I handled it.
But then he put a microphone into one of the Yoda's hands.
So it looked like Yoda was singing.
Yoda was doing karaoke. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. I have enjoyed spending time with him.
Who's this?
That's Mikaro.
Do I know that person? That's the first time I've seen that name.
Okay. Mikaro's on Kahuna Quiet all the time.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
He sounds perfect. Well, I'll tell you what. He is perfect for Offspring number 2.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah.
He can control her Energizer bunniness.
And he just kind of
like,
laughs it off and lets it go.
Right. I mean, he's good for her. Okay. We're probably going to be having a supper break too, because Offspring is grilling today.
We'll know. They'll text us when it's ready. So, we will have a supper break at some point.
Yes, and I'm guessing.
We hope.
So my guess here is it is grilled tri-tip. That's going to be too raw for me. And
I don't know. They have absolutely torched one before.
Yes, but they haven't torched one since then.
This is true.
So I'm guessing it will be grilled tri-tip. That is too rare for me. Potatoes that are sliced and cooked, grilled in the foil with too much butter for me. And then broccoli that will be cooked too mushily for me. So that's my guess.
I didn't hear anything I object to. Potatoes.
I like potatoes, but they'll have too much butter, and you know how my stomach does with grease.
So here's the thing. No sign of smoke in the room yet. Must not be ready. Correct.
Bye, Isong.
Bye, Isong. Thanks for
joining.
Coming.
Sorry I took up most of the stream ranting about Parents 1 and 2.
Parents 1 and 2, all right. Hey.
Ooh.
Spilling ice on me in the chair. What are you doing?
I'm trying to cool off your butt because it's so hot. See what I did there?
Oh, yeah. I have no butt.
Doesn't mean it's not hot.
Okay. Oh, man. How many of those? You're on your third? Fourth.
I don't know, because I just keep filling the glass. I never get to the bottom.
This is about the fourth.
That was a smooth response.
No, we've had the discussion about the broccoli before.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
Hey, I love my husband. I'm not going to lie.
She likes her broccoli with a little bit of crunch still to it.
I like tender crisp because when I was growing up, my mother cooked everything to baby food mush, which I couldn't stand.
Now, see, my mother did the same thing. Everything we had was boiled.
Bye.
Bye, Aegon. Have a great day.
Thanks for coming.
Have a great game.
Kick some booty. Is that part of it? Do you kick booty in D&D?
You might.
Kick some booty. Just don't kill Santa Claus.
There's a whole nother story about
That's
Santa
another
Claus
story
dying.
we can tell another time.
Anyway, everything my mom cooked, she couldn't cook to save her life.
I never ate any of Mom's cooking, though I had met her a few times.
Was a good thing.
Will do.
Yeah. So my mom, like I said, if it did come out of a box, she boiled it. That's pretty much the way it worked. So we either had stuff that came out of a can, a box, or boiled to nothingness.
I don't know what TRPG is.
That's tabletop RPG, as opposed to
Oh,
online.
like in person?
Yes.
Oh. I'm glad you won, because Santa cannot die.
Okay, we're gonna have to tell a Santa story now.
No, let's wait till next week when Aegon's back.
Oh, okay.
And when Daz is back, because
Okay.
he's the one that was going to play D&D, right?
No, Daz was going to play D&D.
That's what I said. Daz is going to play D. No, Aegon's going to play D&D.
Or Aegon, yeah.
So when Aegon is with us next week, we'll tell the Santa Claus story.
The Santa RPG story.
Remind us if we forget, okay?
Yeah.
So we were talking about
So we were talking about broccoli.
broccoli. Broccoli! Don't!
Chopping broccoli.
Don't!
Chopping broccoli. If you haven't seen Dana Carvey's SNL audition, he talks about how
Google it. Just Google it.
Google it. It's
Just
on
Google
YouTube.
it. Let's not talk about it.
It's on YouTube.
Both Daz and Aegon,
Aegon.
yes. We will make sure. Remind us next week to tell
Daz
us.
is on supper break.
Okay, remind us to tell the Santa Claus story next week.
Yeah,
Because it's funny.
But if you haven't seen Dana Carvey, he does this whole routine about how rock stars can make anything sound good, and
Okay, we're talking about broccoli and how your mother couldn't cook.
Well, I am. I was talking about chopping broccoli.
Yes, and they're going to Google that, so we're off
Okay,
of that.
all right.
Keep moving on with Mom cooking broccoli.
So my mom boiled everything. So broccoli to me was pretty much, baby food quality, and that's the way I'm used to it. In fact, most of my vegetables, that's the way I prefer them.
We'll get to that too.
I like my carrots soft. I like my broccoli soft. I like my squash soft.
I don't like squash at all, so it doesn't matter, soft or hard.
So that's just the way I grew up with, and it's weird to say it's comfort food, but it's what I grew up with, so that's what I'm used to, and I've never really liked the crunchy vegetables unless they are flat out raw. I'll eat a carrot flat out raw. I do not like a warm, crunchy carrot. I do not like a warm, crunchy piece of broccoli. How did the young ones GMing go?
They're this past weekend.
Yeah.
It was awesome, according to them.
She
literally-
jumps up and down. Oh my god!
That's the excitement factor.
It went awesome, apparently. In fact, the players all asked, "Are you sure this is the first time you're DMing? And when are we doing this again?"
Yeah, they want to do it again.
And they are doing it again.
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend, but next. So, putting together a whole new one shot, and very excited about it. So it went really well, and in fact, the next one shot they're doing, the subject matter is based on some storylines by one of the Offspring's favorite comic artists and storytellers. And because it is based on that, they had to get kind of permission, or they wanted to get permission to do it, but they were far, far too nervous to just reach out to that person. But one of their players
is BFFs with them.
So they got introduced to basically
their hero.
Basically one of their heroes. and the hero was all for it, okayed it, is probably going to watch it, and thinks it's a great idea. So Offspring number
That's
3
a
is
huge boost.
Offspring number 3 is over the moon about it. So it went really well, and they had a great time. So
Thanks for remembering and asking. We'll make sure that we let them know you asked.
yeah, and it went a lot longer than they thought.
Yeah, 4 hours.
They had planned for a 2-hour session. It went to 4. So, you know, pretty much any D&D session.
Yes. And honestly, as Offspring number 3 and I butt heads on a daily basis multiple times. But to see, and I'm talking quiet because I don't want them to hear, but to see the joy in their face when they came to talk to us about it, and to see the confidence boost that it gave them, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they butt heads. Except this is usually how it looks from my point of view. Because Kahuna's in the middle of the headbutting. So I get headaches.
I get headaches too.
They butt heads and my head hurts.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, it was.
That's
they had
because
a really good.
your offspring is almost as stubborn as you are.
Almost.
Just a tick less.
Almost. They're working on it.
And you are not.
No. Well, I didn't say they were working on getting better. I said they're working on it. That someday they aspire to be as stubborn as I am.
It makes for some rough days.
It can, but it's a teenager. So
That is not the reason why it makes for rough days. I had teenagers too that I lived through and did not eat or kill. Your teenager...
There's a high bar for you. I didn't eat him. I didn't kill him.
Your teenager is lucky that they haven't been eaten or killed. And the only reason I haven't is because they're your teenager, not mine.
See, I'm good for something.
Keeping your teenager alive. End of story. Moving on.
You started it.
No, someone else did.
They just asked about how the DM went.
Which started us talking about the offspring.
Okay.
Moving on.
Grandchildren are the word for not eating or killing your own children. We don't have any yet.
I have a feeling we'll have some soon, though.
I do too. I have a feeling it will not, because they've already bought the house.
Yeah, I have a feeling it'll be in the next 24 months.
And they bought, well, they call it a 4-bedroom house. I call it 3 bedrooms and an oversized closet.
It's, yeah.
That the 4th bedroom is, I don't think they can
It's
fit.
like it would be a good, like, home office
Office or small den.
Or it would be perfect for, like, a playroom.
Yeah, or a nursery to start.
Grandkids are the best.
I anticipate it won't take long, especially because we know that Offspring number 2 really wants kids.
If
Like,
offspring
really,
if offspring number 2 could get it past their dad, they would be giving birth the day after the wedding, as long as it didn't require them to be 9 months pregnant at the wedding.
Siobhan, right on the money. That is exactly it.
That is so true.
That is exactly it. It's a streamer's closet. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
It actually could be a decent dark room too if it didn't have a window.
You realize no one does dark rooms anymore.
Well, I don't know why. They're fun. I've developed my own film.
When was the last time you actually bought film?
Well, I know never, but...
When was the last time you actually saw film to purchase?
I don't know, I haven't looked.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it would be a nice dark room. It's a good size.
I mean, I had a dark room when I was a teenager.
Awesome.
I built it.
Yay.
In the garage.
Yay.
And man,
what's a dark room? Yeah, okay. Well, moving on.
Excuse me while I get my cane. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. You should start with that conversation.
Get off my lawn? Oh, well, I could. Yes, my best friend and I, we have known each other for, well, let's see.
That's cool.
36 years. Worked at our room school. That is cool. We've known each other for 36 years. At one point, we met when a mutual friend.
Starving brain sucker.
What?
It's a starving brain sucker on top of your head. Just kidding. It's an old high school joke.
What?
I love you. They met.
Okay, we met when a mutual friend approached both of us and said, "Hey, I know somebody else, a third individual, who's looking for roommates." My best friend and I at that point had never met. So well, you guys should talk because you guys could both get a room together. So we did, and like a week later, we moved in together. We'd known each other a week. We moved in. We were sharing a room. It turns out the two of us,
Brothers from another mother, and I am not joking.
no, we can finish each other's sentences.
No, I
Always.
don't need more Kahuna Kwencher. I'm not even buzzing. This is mostly juice.
We could finish each other's sentences pretty much from day one. We think alike. We have the same sense of humor. It's ridiculous. We will laugh.
Facial expressions. Gestures. It's crazy.
But here's the thing.
They look totally different.
Especially because
He's black.
But the funniest thing
It
happened
is
about...
hysterical. Wait till you hear this part.
Yeah, the funny thing was this happened about 3-4 years ago, I think.
No, it was longer than that. It was before I met you.
No.
I thought you were going to tell the aunt at the table story.
Yeah, you met me. You went to the dinner with us. It was her
No, it was
21st.
not. It was way before I even met you.
I don't think so.
Yes, it was.
Anyway,
The aunt is dead.
we were at some event, and his aunt looks at the two of us sitting next to each other and just shooting the breeze and joking and everything. And she comes up to him and says, "I know your mama did not have relations with a white boy, but I'd be damned if he ain't your brother." And that was the funniest thing because we've always said it. We literally are brothers from another mother. So we moved in together.
Who's that?
Oh, look, it's a bot.
Bye, bot.
Pardon me while I
New York.
dispose of a
Of the
bot.
bot.
Goodbye.
Thank you. You deleted it. Did you get rid of him?
No, I ban and it deletes his messages.
Oh, got it.
Its messages.
Oh no, an email. Oh good, it's not from
So-
a mother.
Where was I going with this?
Brother from another mother.
What was the story? Yeah, get off my lawn.
Aunt, get off my
So
lawn.
at one point, this apartment that we shared, it was a 2-bedroom apartment. He and I shared one room. In that room was my queen waterbed,
Tells you how long ago this was.
his double bed.
And he had double bed for him. He's taller than Kahuna, and Kahuna's 6 foot tall.
6'1".
6'1". He's
Six-
taller than
he's
Kahuna.
6'3". He's in a double
And
bed.
a double bed with his probably 2/3 of his legs hanging off the bed.
There was also in this same room a 5-piece drum set,
His.
a large desk, executive desk that we both used with my computer on it, the venerable Commodore 64, an upright piano.
Oh, I didn't know that was in there.
There was an upright piano. There was a keyboard stand with 2 keyboards, an amplifier, and a guitar. You literally had to pick your path around music equipment and beds to get to his bed. Mine was nearer the door. So I could just get in and fall. He would have to kind of make his way around. So, and we used to jam together. The funny thing is that, the worst thing about having a drummer sharing a room with you
Oh, God.
is don't piss him off. Because what he would do is he'd wait till I'd fall asleep and then slam on the crash cymbal, which hung over my head.
Is that bothering you?
That'll wake you up. Yeah, it kind of is.
Okay,
actually.
I'll stop.
Thanks. You could scratch if you wanted to. But, so anyway, we've always joked about, well, we got to get the band together. So long story short, fast forward about 32 years.
He moved in with us in 2017.
17. He moved in with us due to marital issues. He moved in with us. We had a spare room.
Which was the week after Kahuna came home from his triple bypass.
Right.
But it was nice to have another set of hands around.
But here's the thing.
Well, we don't let him have tools, but that's another story.
It was not a big move for him because
We lived next door.
we lived next door to him.
It was literally driveways were connected, so all he had to do was like...
Yeah. So when his wife kicked him out...
It was like 22 Mrs. Kahuna steps.
Yeah, when his wife kicked him out, it took about 40 seconds for him to get, over to our place. So he moved back in and we started joking around. We got to get the band together. We got to get the band together. To which Mrs. Kahuna went, "You have to what?" "No, not in my house."
I'm like, I park in the garage. There is no other place for you to practice.
Yeah.
And I know that brother from another's soon-to-be ex-wife is not going to allow you to practice in their garage.
Brothers from another... Oh, yeah, okay. Brother from another mother's soon-to-be ex-wife. You forgot mother. You said brother from another's soon-to-be ex-wife.
Whatever.
That's a whole different person. So we decided if we're going to get a band together, we got to have come up with a name. So we did. So the band name, if we ever do it...
Ever.
Because this was now 3 years ago and we are absolutely no closer than we were. The band name...
It's been discussed before.
It has been discussed.
Often. At the dinner table.
The band name is Get Off My Lawn. That's right. 2 old guys up there playing instruments, playing cover tunes. Get Off My Lawn. And what we thought would be even funnier is if we came out with walkers and wheelchairs and played that way. Just for fun. Get off my lawn. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most people do.
It would be a funny act.
This needs to happen.
Everybody else said that, too. This needs to happen. Yeah, okay.
And I volunteered to play the cowbell or the triangle, because those are the only 2 things I can play.
See, and the funny thing is that now that he's gotten older, he's had multiple surgeries on his knees and his back. So he can't play the drums anymore.
Well, and he's also had several strokes.
Yes.
Has the sickle cell trait, which has contributed to those.
So he can't hold the sticks really well.
Hold the sticks right anymore. But damn if he doesn't try.
Yeah. So I would end up having to play the drums.
Oh look, Siobhan can play the trombone for you.
If we decide to play polkas, you're in. That, or if we decide to play something like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Except you would probably be way better than we are. So... Offspring number 2... Well, you said her name.
I know, I've said her name before. Can play the viola. And Offspring number 1 can do the violin.
So we're like...
Woo! And Offspring number 3 can play their ocarina.
Offspring number 3 had to make an ocarina for their ceramics class. We don't know if it works yet because it hasn't been fired. But
we'll just make it all in the family.
Yeah. Jazz, we could do jazz. We could do almost like a version of ELO with horns, or Earth, Wind, and Fire, although they didn't have strings.
How about Kool and the Gang? They had horns.
No strings, though.
Oh.
ELO is strings. Trans-Siberian Orchestra is strings, but no horns.
Ooh, yeah, but they're kind of tough to beat. Their show is fabulous.
It is. If you haven't seen Trans-Siberian Orchestra, go see them. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
The Ocarina of Time, Zelda, yes. I think their ceramics teacher just has something about that, because this is now the 2nd ocarina they've had to make. 2 ocarinas.
They've made 2 pinch pots and 2 ocarinas. In 5 weeks. That's it. And they've talked about social emotional learning that has not gone well for him.
Oh, let's not go there. We
already had that conversation.
And we're having fun now.
Yes.
So, yes.
I didn't know ocarina was spelled with an O.
They started as Sabotage. Yes, they did. Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where am I seeing this? I don't see it. I only see Ocarina of Time.
Yours hasn't caught up yet. Wonder why. I saw it on mine.
There it is.
Apparently there's a delay between chat screens. Yeah, they did. And their show, here's the thing.
Made me cry.
Yeah. And the thing is that You can try to tell somebody what the show is like, and you will never get it right. You just won't. You can't describe the show.
No.
We went and saw. I've seen them twice now.
I've only seen him the one time.
I've seen them twice.
And we went with brother from another mother and his significant other.
Yes. Brother from another significant. Okay.
Just go with it.
Yeah, I'll go with it. It's an amazing show. If you ever get a chance, go do it. They're not touring this year, obviously, for obvious reasons. But it's a phenomenal show, and it's like take every rock show you've ever seen and inject it with a massive dose of steroids. Because there's fire, there's explosions.
But it's tastefully done.
They make it
so tastefully done.
They make it snow.
They have all these cool lifts that the people get on.
They have a lift that takes a violin player and a guitar player. Actually, there's one in the back with the guitar player too. That takes them out over the audience easily 60 feet, 70 feet.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, in height, but
like
also in
it's like
distance.
a construction crane.
Yeah, that's just...
It goes up,
and then swings
and then
around.
it swings.
All the way around. And they're playing. They're strapped in and playing and not missing a beat.
Not missing a beat.
It is awesome to watch. It's a spectacle.
It is, and you know what, though? Leo, like Kahuna says, it is a spectacle, but it's not one of those where you're like, oh, geez, this is a spectacle. It's like there are no words. I'm telling you, there are no words.
And
I cried. I mean, I was like sobbing, crying. It was so beautiful. There's a story behind it too. Yep. And just the way the music goes with the effects and the story and just, oh my God, I'm like, ooh.
And I think to me the best thing about it is they really know how to pace the show.
Yeah.
So you start off with a few things and it'll slow a little bit and then it builds. And by the end of the show, it's just
straight
rocking.
on.
And it's a full-on rock show by the end of the show. You're like, yeah!
But it's not like ear-splitting rock. It is...
It's really well done.
It is... The music is just so well done. And, I mean, you could be 80 or 12 and love this show. It's that kind of show.
They always bring in a local orchestra to play with them.
Yeah. And they have, like, some of the songs have vocals, some don't.
Yeah,
they usually have a narrator for the story.
They always have a narrator. He
was good.
And they've got 12, usually it's around 12 vocalists. So it's just a spectacular show. It's absolutely spectacular.
I finished.
You finished your drink already?
Yeah, I think it's time.
Again?
I've never actually gotten to the bottom. I've kept pouring.
Well, we haven't been informed that it's dinner time yet. And
I sent Offspring a text and I have not heard. But then again, they don't always respond to my texts. You might want to intervene. How about if I go intervene? You continue streaming.
Okay.
And I'll physically intervene. Casey!
Going to go find out if we actually have a dinner. There was at least once when the Offspring was first trying to do tri-tips.
No, I think that they're outside.
They
did not respond to my deep cheerleader voice.
Okay, then. So they're probably still working on it. Yeah. The first time the Offspring... Oh, God. Really roasted one was funny. And what happened was, tri-tip can have it usually has a fat cap on it. Which
untrimmed. I heard the door.
And the fat cap gives it a great flavor, especially if you leave it on top. The fat melts into the meat, makes it more moist, gives you good flavor. Well, the Offspring has been known to start cooking something and then get involved in their phone.
And walk away. I'm going to go
else.
take this downstairs real quick because I think they're got their headphones in.
Okay. So, and there goes the pitcher. So, Offspring gets distracted, doesn't pay attention to the fact that when the fat melts, it melts onto the meat, but it drips off. And all of a sudden, I think I was the one who looked over and went, might want to check the grill, because there were flames coming out the back of it. Literally 2-foot flames coming out the back of the grill from flaming hot fat. That thing on the outside was charcoal. I mean, you could crumble bits off of it with your fingers. It was just that bad. Luckily, we caught it early enough that it didn't totally destroy the inside. In fact, there were really only a couple areas that were inedible, and you could actually, once you cut the slices, you could trim those off, and you would be fine. But it still had a little bit of a cinder flavor to it, which I don't recommend. But we tried to console said offspring because I've done the same thing. I have gotten distracted either making a side dish or something and not paying attention and look outside and see the flames coming out and realize I just totally hosed dinner. It happens. So I think that's how you learn to cook the best, is that you really have to screw something up royally and then realize don't ever do that again until the next time, which happens all the time. So, yeah, you have to learn by mistakes. My first big cooking mistake was making a souffle. I put it all together. It actually rose. It looked great. Completely inedible. Why? Because I misread the recipe and put in, where it said 2 teaspoons of salt, I put in 2 tablespoons of salt. A salt lick would have been easier to stomach.
Talking about your mom's cooking again.
No, I'm talking about the first mistake I ever made cooking.
Oh.
Which was... What was that?
Wine.
Oh, we're on to wine now.
Tri-tip just came off the grill, so 10 to 15 minutes to let it rest, and then you're going to need to go down and slice it for them.
I have to slice the tri-tip.
Yeah, because if you don't, the pieces will be 3 inches thick.
Well, there's that. Thin slices for the offspring is about the thickness of my thumb. So...
No. That's ultra thin for the offspring.
Supper break is over. Back to not TPKing the family.
What's TPK? What does that mean?
Total player kill.
Oh.
When you're running, if you're the DM and you're running it,
You could kill everybody off?
there's lots of ways.
Oh.
The DM can do whatever they want, so you're trying not to. Daz, you're out of here.
Bye.
Enjoy the game.
Bye, Daz.
Thanks for spending time with us. Hope you had fun. Hope we didn't get too preachy or edgy at the beginning there.
So I burnt water. Let me tell you a burnt story.
Uh-oh.
My senior year in college, I lived in, it was apartments within our dorm. My dorm was ancient. The apartments were not so ancient. So they had like a kitchen, literally a kitchen. It wasn't huge, but normal stove and oven, refrigerator, no dishwasher. It was all hand washing, microwave. So, I'm big into hot dogs. Not so much anymore, but I used to be. Love hot dogs. All beef only. So, I put hot dogs in a pot with water to boil, because that's how I always made hot dogs, because this was before we knew that we could microwave effectively. And my dad calls me. This is before cordless phones. So I'm in my bedroom talking to my dad on the phone, and we're talking. I forget all about the dang hot dog on the stove in the water. And next thing I know, the fire alarm is going off for the entire dorm. I'm like, oh shit. That's my hot dog. I'm like, Dad, I gotta go. He's like, what is that noise? I'm like, they think I'm burning down the dorm with a hot dog. He's like, oh, okay, call me later. So I turn off the burner, put the hot dog pot in the sink. It is literally black. We all go out like we're supposed to go out, and my senior year, I'm the hall council president my senior year, and I also am the manager of our front desk. So I know our, the woman who is in charge of our dorm, like the one who is like the adult. And her name is Carmen. I'm like, Carmen, it's a false alarm. She's like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, is it coming from the apartments? She's like, yes. I'm like, is it coming from my apartment? Yes. It's a burnt hot dog. What? I'm like, it's my fault. So, of course, it's too late to call the fire department and tell them that it's a mistake. So the fire department comes in and they tell Carmen it's a burnt hot dog, and she just looks at me and she's like, I already knew that, but thank you for clarifying. Sorry to have wasted your time. And I'm just mortified because I burnt the pot because the water boiled away and the hot dog turned to charcoal. So that was my boiling water burning thing.
So, because I'm Kahuna,
Uh-oh.
I can top that one.
Okay, made a Grayburn article to link to from the...
In Synagogia.
Oh, I'm like, that has nothing to do with burning hot dogs. Just kidding. Well, it might. I don't know. Maybe you burnt a hot dog in Synagogia.
I can top that one slightly.
Slightly?
Yeah.
That makes me... Okay, so Kahuna just almost tipped over his glass. Who's the one that's had too much alcohol?
I haven't finished mine yet. This is still the first glass.
And you almost spilled it.
Just because I'm clumsy. So,
Likely story.
I was decided to make ramen one night. As when I was a single dad, kids asleep, I decided to make ramen. So I filled the pot with water, stick it on the stove, and I have an electric stove. And I go back out waiting for the pot to start to boil so I can use it for the ramen, and I go and sit down on the couch. And this particular couch we had...
Oh, was this the killer couch?
We dubbed it the evil couch.
Oh, the evil couch.
The evil couch.
Close.
Because
Killer, evil, they have similar letters.
no one could sit on this couch for more than about 5 minutes without
Hi,
falling
handsome.
asleep. Period. Just fall asleep. You would be like, oh, this is a really comfortable couch. Out. And so what did I do? I fell asleep. The next noise I hear is the fire alarm, the smoke alarm. And I open my eyes, and the room is full of this acrid smoke.
Look at the boy.
Well, I know... Yes, look, it's the puppers. I know that it's the pot. So apparently I have boiled all the water off, and now I've done something nasty. So I walk over, I turn off the burner.
How old were you?
Oh, this is... Let's see. It was about 10 years ago, so...
Oh, so you were way older than I was.
Yeah, I was single dad. I was
20.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
20.
no, I was
yes,
40.
it was a pupper. That was the one who got the haircut.
So... Okay, so Siobhan, this one's close. I didn't melt it to the stove. It just literally had taken the bottom of this aluminum pot and vaporized it.
Oh, wait, there's another one, though.
It was completely a hole all the way through it. And the smoke was the vaporized aluminum.
How about the tea kettle?
That's what I'm talking about.
That was the tea kettle?
The tea kettle.
Oh, I thought you were talking about ramen.
I was
Oh,
making
you were
rum,
doing
I was
the
warming
water
up
for the
ramen.
Got it.
Yeah.
That was the one I was thinking of.
Try to keep
Yes.
up, Wayne.
I didn't hear the beginning. I was playing with the dog. The pupper you just saw is my baby boy. That's Wesley.
Try making banana bread for the first time.
That's funny.
I could see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a recipe for like a creamy chicken lemon thing. And it's a Pampered Chef deal. I don't know if you have that across the pond, but it's a Pampered Chef deal. And you make it in this covered baker. So everyone in my family loved it. So they had requested it for dinner one night. And I'm like, okay, I'll make it. And this is when I was living with my mother after I had been helping her care for my great aunt who lived with us, who passed away from Alzheimer's. So
Squirrel.
my mother, no, I have to explain this because my mother is OCD to the 10th degree, unmedicated. And she is still, because she's still around, the organizational queen. So anytime anything was bought in a bag, it got put in a plastic container with a lid so that it wouldn't spill all over. So I pull out the flour to help, because that was one of the first things you did to thicken things. And this is not thickening, not thickening, not thickening. I'm like, what the F? So I put more flour in to thicken it. It's still not thickening. I'm like, what the F? So I taste it. It wasn't flour. It was powdered sugar. It was bad. Did it go kaboom? Mine? No. Killed our son. He did spaghetti. Oh no!
Yeah.
That's what did it go kaboom.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did it go kaboom?
Apparently, yes, it did go kaboom.
Oh shit. Oh, we need to tell the microwave the microwave body spray.
As long as the offspring's not in hearing range.
No, they're downstairs. Okay, so this was when the offspring was in seventh grade.
Yeah, so about 5 years
They
ago.
are now a senior in high school. They did not always get along with me in a stellar fashion. It is way better now than it used to be. Even though we still butt heads and Kahuna gets stuck in the middle.
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not, because this is relevant. So they had spent spring break with their mom, and we had gone on a mini vacation. And Mom had bought them like a gift set from Bath and Body Works. So it had like body spray and body wash and one of those scrunchy, spongy things and body lotion. So, in their infinite wisdom, it was Good Friday. I remember this vividly because I was home from work. I didn't have to go to work on Good Friday. We had a holiday. I'm sitting in the master bedroom where my desk was, and I'm grading papers. And all of a sudden, I hear this boom! And I swore to God a bomb had gone off in the kitchen. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, response number 1, go out there and see if someone has been blown up. Response number 2, call out to make sure that there is a live human. So I call out. What the F was that? Offspring number 3 response, something exploded in the microwave. So I come out of the bedroom, and offspring number 3 is standing in front of the microwave, just looking into the microwave. I'm like, would you care to explain what happened? Well, I smell the broccoli. Well, I put this bottle of, they called it perfume, but it was body spray, in the microwave because I was wondering if I heated it up if it would change color. Okay. And it exploded. Okay. So they had put the entire bottle in the microwave with the cap on, the spray thing, which had a metal spring in it, which caused the bottle to explode. And I'm like, I'm walking away now. You need to clean this up before your father gets home. I get back in the bedroom. I send a text. Guess what offspring did? Response, oh no, what now? So I send the message. I'm like, I'm ready to murder them. And the reason why I was ready to murder them is it was a wonderment question. And I am all about that. I think it's awesome that kids wonder about things like this. My biggest thing was, why didn't you come to ask the adult what would happen if you microwaved the body spray?
Answer, 7th grader.
And then I would have said, it's probably not a good idea to microwave it in the bottle. That microwave, to this day, because we still own it, it still has the occasional lingering scent
of lavender.
Of the body spray.
Lavender body spray.
And this, let me tell you, happened 4 days after they slammed our bedroom door and a picture fell off the wall, hit the glass on my desk, and shattered the glass from my desk, which then fell into my shoe. So I was like, whoa!
Thinking of writing a short narrative intro to my alliance.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if I should write it in first or third person perspective. Same character viewpoint, just a matter of first or third.
Oh, so? Okay.
Both.
And then see which one works best for you.
What does he mean by both? You can start it as third and then use a first person to give details. As in quotes or, quoted areas. So you do both. So now you have two different ways of presenting the perspective on the same page. So it gives a little bit more depth and a little bit more detail. My stepbrother was staying in an apartment when I was 23, but if I was going dark in the microwave.
45 minutes? He thought you meant minutes?
Smell true.
Oh my god. Lavender is relaxing. But not when it comes from the microwave.
That's okay. I had another microwave that kind of went south because...
Oh, that was the blue paint.
Well, no, the blue paint, it survived. It was the peanut butter pancake that didn't survive.
Yes, but the blue paint caused blue stains all over the inside of that microwave.
Yes, and then it was the peanut butter pancake that got incinerated. It made it useless. I couldn't scrub enough to get the stains off of the ash stains out.
Dad.
Mild fire distributed apartment.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Entire quarter of the building smelled like... Oh, geez. That, I'm sure he never lived down.
I'm sorry, sir. You're not allowed to come to Parents' Day anymore.
Yeah. Metal pot. Oh! Oh.
Spark-o-matic.
Okay, so I'm thinking that it's been a little bit, and the offspring is probably going to be texting in a minute or two to tell you it's time to... So we probably should decide who we're going to raid.
That's a good thought there.
He had left the dog food... Oh, jeez!
He what?
He left the dog food on the electronic stove, which he had never turned off or unplugged. Ooh, bad news. This has been a fun stream.
Started off a little dark, but...
Yeah, I'm sorry if I just so had to vent about Parents 1 and 2. And I figured you guys would totally understand and get a kick. Hey! Where's my Georgia history teacher?
Maybe working.
Oh.
All right, so it looks like...
I sympathize.
Coffee Quills is on. I was just saying, as long as coffee's on, we're gonna go there. Whoops! I have to actually,
type
it.
Don't you?
Yeah, I have to type raid, and then I have to actually.
Look at me knowing you have to type raid. This is like a huge step for me.
My bow, not yours. All right, we're going to send you off to Coffee Quills. Thank you guys. This was a fun stream. Sorry for the insanity at the beginning of the stream there with me trying to get up and running. And
if I got a little overzealous, look, I called it. Meat is ready to cut.
Literally just got the text.
Through. Sorry if I got a little vehement about my story earlier, but Mother 1 and Mother 2, they just need to go to mother effing wherever.
The Quencher is in force.
No, actually, I'm not even buzzed.
But you're a little looser tongued.
I am looser tongued, but I've been saying effing all stream.
Okay.
We love you all.
We do. Thank you guys for coming. We're going to send you over to Coffee Quills.
Why do you have a chopstick in your hand?
It's not a chopstick. Straw. That's the metal straw that you brought me that I never use a straw for.
Yeah, you're right. I'll take it.
Siobhan, that came out very Yoda.
She has.
Push buttons? She has. Pissed off the teacher? Has she?
Never a good thing
with
Mrs. Kahuna.
Hang in there, Mrs. Kahuna.
I will. I'm good. I'm fine. As long as my principal's on my side, I know that I'm good to go.
So
hell, I might even assign the assignment again.
we're going to send you over to coffee. Come back next Friday. We'll do this again. Make sure you have your adult beverages ready. I'm going to figure out where to post.
I teach, therefore I drink.
Yes.
It is still true.
I'll figure out where to post the recipe for the Kahuna Quencher if you feel so.
If you want to join us with ours.
Yeah. Otherwise, DM Stretch is still working on the idea for the purple shot.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys again.
Thank you guys.
Give Quills a big old aloha for us. I've had a lot of fun with this stream. I always do, and you guys are awesome. So thank you for coming. Thank you, Sable, for the raid. And we will see you guys next week.
This is literally how I wave goodbye to my kids.
I should be fine on Sunday unless, I die doing something tomorrow, which I'm not planning on.
Well, if you die, you're not doing any more streams.
Well, that's a good point. They can't join us me. Well, you could always stream on Friday. But... yeah, okay. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you later.
I could stream.